Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the Gita Gyan English session. So, today we will be discussing Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 267th sloka. 67th, Indriyanam Icharatam Yanmanonuvidhi Yate Tadasya Harati Pragyam Vayurnavam Vivambhasi. As the strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So next sloka, 68. We are discussing 67 and 68 today. Tasmad yasya mahabhaho nigrihitani sarvashah indriyan indriyatebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. Therefore, O mighty armed, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Danda pranam to everyone. So, we'll go for it 1 minute recap, and then we'll continue with 67. So, what we heard until now was person free from all attachment and aversion, and if they are able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom, can obtain complete mercy of the Lord. We have seen that, right? And for one who thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, once they have controlled his senses, right? So once they are satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence stays no longer for them, and thus they are satisfied in consciousness. And what happens once and after that, their intelligence will be soon established. But one who is not connected, it's not that everyone will be connected, right? So one who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can neither have transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. Because when a person is not happy, how can he have peace? So that is not possible. So now the question comes, oh, why the mind is not steady, right? Why people are not able to put their mind on the Lord, right? That we'll be discussing in this sloka, in 67th sloka. So now we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses, right? What are they? 5 knowledge acquiring senses: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and touch. I mean the skin, right? So these are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. The next one is 5 working senses. What is that? Speech, hands, legs, genitals, and rectum. So the roaming senses are enough, right, to drag the mind away from the ultimate goal. So we have to be very careful with these senses. Even one sense can go little here and there, that's it. The whole mind will go away. So we will discuss that in the later part. So what happens due to this, the intelligence, when the senses are there, right, but the senses are little roaming, what happens due to this, the intelligence that was focused on one particular aspect is taken away or gets deviated. So it's the analogy is Vayur Navam Ivambasi. Vayur means wind, Navam means boat, Ivambasi means water. So what happens is the boat is going, but the problem is when there is a lot of wind on the water, right? When there is a lot of wind, the boat will be carried away. It want to go in one direction, but whichever way the wind is going, that way the boat will be taken away. So here the comparison is boat wants to go in some direction, but the strong wind sweeps it away from its path or direction. In the same way, one of the roaming senses sweeps away the mind, thereby the intelligence also, right? So for example, that is the reason, see, if the big boats, when there is a cyclone or anything, they keep track of where the cyclone is, right? The ocean is very big. At any moment, where there is a cyclone somewhere, small cyclone, big cyclone. So they keep track where there is they keep track of the weather, right? So they don't want to get into the cyclone because either they will sway away or they may even get drowned. So that's why, right? For example, and what happens here is when the roaming senses sweeps away, it will sweep away the mind. Thereby, what happens? The intelligence also gets swept away. So that's why we should be very careful with even one sense also. The example given here is a person is sitting in the house, right? He is doing some work, and a car is moving with a loud music, okay? And the song was a favorite song that we have in our childhood. Okay, and the moment we hear that, what happens? Doesn't matter what we are doing. Uh, the moment we listen to that tune, what will happen? We go to that childhood memory, right? That will, and not only that. First thing is, there is a possibility we'll also start singing along. Possibility is there, and that when that starts, we'll go to the memory. Oh, for example, in the childhood, if somebody has gone to a movie, right, and that song gets played, so they'll see, oh, at that time I went with my friends. That was the situation. Whatever situation has happened, there are some memories, right? So it will, whatever we are doing, but we will go back to those memories. So you can see one sense, just by one sense, uh, yeah, everything, the mind is swayed away and the intelligence also sways away, right? We're going back to our memory, right? That's what generally happens. Um, yeah. So the another example is taken as for a poster. A poster. We're just traveling on the road and there is a poster, right? On the road, big posters. The moment we see a poster, it can be about a phone, it can be about a very big star, right? Cricket star, a hero, or a famous celebrity, right? These days, we see a lot of uh, these posters. And the moment we see that poster, especially if it is a phone, a very good brand new phone, people feel, array, it's time to upgrade the phone, right? It deviates our mind, right? So it's not only the eyes and ears, but also the taste. Any food item, for example, the nose, um, the touch, all these things, right? They can sway away the mind and thereby the intelligence. So when the senses are loose, they go hither and thither. Therefore, the mind also follows. And then it is not possible for us to keep our intelligence fixed on Krishna, right? The mind is gone, and therefore the intelligence follows the mind. So that's what actually happens. So that's why we have to understand one thing. Senses are very dangerous. And if they are not controlled, they keep roaming here and there. And they deviate us from achieving our ultimate goal of relieving us from cycle of birth and death, right? Therefore, all the senses must be engaged on the Lord. And even one sense is gone in sense gratification, it can deviate us from transcendental advantage, right? Example given here is Ambarish Maharaj, right? He used to use all his senses in service of the Lord. Why? Because if not all the above will happen, right? Whatever we have spoken until now, there is a possibility that it will happen. So also this body is like a flat. It is given as an example. The analogy is this body, right? This, not our body, this body. It is given, it is maintained, it is given, and it is maintained, and it is annihilated also, right? So we have to understand that it is a flat, but we are living in a flat which we are a tenant. We are not an owner, right? If we are an owner, nobody want to get old, right? So they will control the body. They should be able to control the body, right? But we are not unable to control the body. We are getting uh, all this janma mrityu jara vyadi, right? Vyadi, we don't want vyadi, we don't want to get old, right? But and if we are an owner, we should be able to control, but we are unable to control. That means we are a tenant for this body, not the owner. So that we have to keep in our mind. So what we have to do with this body, we have to utilize for the Lord who is maintaining the body, right? The designer of the body and the maintainer of the body, who is Lord Krishna, right? Then our senses and mind will be in control, or we will be under the control of senses and mind. And what will happen if you see, especially in the developed world, people have everything, all cars, big houses, this, everything, right? Some people have tennis court and also a swimming pool in their house, right? People are very, it's difficult to buy one small house, but in overseas, people have tennis court, they have a play area, sitting area, and some people have swimming pool also. But what is the problem? They're all getting into depression. Yeah, there is a statistic which says there is one person in a house, in every house in London, who is depressed, mentally depressed, in some category. Doesn't have to be totally depressed, but some mental problem is there. And this is the stats in London, right? Which is there. And not only that, a lot of people in the developed world, they take anti-anxiety pills, right? They don't get sleep, so they take sleeping pills. So that is the problem. So much, everything is there, but so much anxiety. Because of that anxiety, they're not happy, right? Their senses are going hither and thither. That's why the mind is getting swayed away, and thereby the intelligence also. So all our issues arise as we are not connected to the Lord, that is engaged in the service of the Lord. So let us see a little bit more continuation of this. So, for example, now people say, "Oh, how we have to become Krishna conscious? How to become? What is the right way of doing things?" For example, people will say, "Oh, I have to go to school, I have higher education, job, I have my daily activities," right? So the very simple thing to do is chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is very important. We have to relate everything. Krishna says, "See me in everything and see everything in me," right? So it's actually not very hard. It's actually very simple. We have to relate everything to Krishna. For example, the easiest way is relate our environment related to the Lord Krishna. For example, even if we sleep, when we are sleeping, we are breathing, right? Who is giving that air? The oxygen, right? We need oxygen. If we give carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide in that room, people have actually, people who use gas geysers, people actually, there are news that people have passed away in the bathroom itself. They use gas geysers and it releases carbon monoxide. It doesn't have color, and people have fainted and died also, right? So that means in the night, we are breathing clean oxygen, right? That we have to give credit to someone, right? Somebody is doing it, somebody is giving it to us, not the mother and father. Mother and father are not carrying oxygen cylinders and giving to us, right? To themselves or to the kids. So the air, the very important, which is air, which we take for granted. We take it for granted. So we have to give credit to the Lord, right? That's called kritagnata. Kritagnata, whatever has been given in the past and the present. Kritagnata, gratitude is very important. And for example, okay, we have woken up. Next is we say thank you to the Lord and to our Guru Maharaj, etc. Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, etc. And then few people take water, right? And then we go to bathroom, right? We use water. And then the paste, right? The brush, the milk. For example, we close the doors, right? It is made of wood. Where is that coming from? That is also Prakriti, right? And people sleep on the bed, right? That is also material which is used from Prakriti, right? And the lock, we lock the door, right? A lot of things are used to lock the door. It is made from Prakriti also, right? Iron, we use iron ore, and they make iron or steel, and then that is used to make latches. And then we utilize to close the door. And then we have breakfast, clothes, right? People are having breakfast. We are all having breakfast. And how it is not easy to make breakfast, right? We need so many different individual items, right? Whether it is wheat or whatever, oil, and a lot of masala, etc., etc. So many things, chili, tomato, etc., etc., right? Vegetables, fruits, etc., etc. And also then we have to wear clothes. Even though we were born wearing nothing, we have to wear clothes, right? And they are made from Prakriti only, right? Cotton, poly, etc., etc. Other items we are utilizing from Prakriti. The utensils, the kitchen items, the stove, the gas, the electricity, AC. Now the summer, people are want to use AC. If there is no electricity, the AC won't work, right? And the electricity is coming from Prakriti only. Iron, the taps that we use, the lights, especially the lights, right? The fan. And for men, the shaving kit. The women use dryers to dry their hair, and so many things, right? We are utilizing so many things, and they're all made from Prakriti only. The main thing that the basic thing that we need is the iron ore, etc., etc. So many things we need, the wood, etc. Right? From there only everything comes. So we have to, and that is owned by the Lord, right? Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate, right? Mayadhyakshena prakriti. The prakriti is maintained by through my direction, not by somebody's direction. And if we don't give credit to the Lord, what will happen? I'm sorry to say, but we are actually thieves, right? We are actually thieves. So in 38th sloka, that's why the Lord is giving, he is glorifying that personality. Whoever is becoming a devotee, is glorifying that personality in 38th sloka. So tasmat means therefore, I am glorifying this personality. Therefore, how we can curb the senses? By means of Krishna consciousness only. Consciousness means Chetana. So it is my Chetana or Krishna Chetana, right? That we have to understand. So if we don't give credit, it is my Chetana. So we are the law. See, actually, what happens when we give credit to the Lord, we become sold out to the Lord. So he becomes obliged, actually. So just in case, if we get into little small troubles, Krishna will actually protect us. But if we don't give credit to the Lord, we are on ourselves. Can we protect ourselves from this onslaught of Maya? It is not possible. We need protection from the Lord also. So it's not like we'll give credit and for the sake of protection. No, not like that. Really, we need to surrender, and then automatically the Lord will protect. It shouldn't be business. Business is done from between two same level people, not from high level people and a low level person, right? So we are not same as the Lord. Quantitatively we are same, but qualitatively we are not. So that's why we can't do business with the Lord. So whatever is done with, it should be with love. Okay, so with love we should give gratitude, and then we should take Sharanagati of the Lord, and then Krishna will be obliged to protect the devotees. So now the enemies, how the enemy can be curbed, all these senses, generally, how the enemies can be curbed? By superior force, right? In the same way, the senses can be similarly be curbed, not by human endeavor, but by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord, whom we are totally dependent on. So therefore, chanting is very important, especially in the early morning, right? Or what happens if when we chant before we start everything, before we go to work, especially it is said that in Brahma Murta, if we chant, right, it is said 1.5 hours before the sunrise, 1.5 hours before the sunrise, it is Brahma Murta. So if we chant in that period, what will happen? The total later day, right? Total later of part of the day, we might be in total Maya, we might be mingling with a lot of people, but we will be totally in full control. Our mind will be in control, our senses will be in control. So when the senses are in control, the mind is in control. When the mind is in control, the intelligence is proper. So we can take good decisions, right? So it's like that. So that's why it is said we have to chant. We have to chant. It's very important. Chanting of 16 rounds especially is very important. So practice this art. How we have to practice, not in our own way, right? But from a learned one, right? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnaya sevaya upatekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattva darshinaha. Tattva darshinaha, they have seen it. So from there, how we have to be humble. Humbly, we have to ask questions. Whom do we have to ask? We have to take guidance from a bona fide spiritual master, right? So when we take guidance from a bona fide spiritual master, we become sadhaka, and we will become a suitable candidate for liberation. Srila Prabhupada is telling we will become a suitable candidate for liberation. So the order of a spiritual master is life and soul of a disciple. Okay, so what will happen by doing all this? For example, what we have to do? We have to do 16 rounds of chanting of Mahamantra, right? And if we can follow the 4 regulative principles, that is actually very important. That's very important. So the best thing is how we can do all these things. Prabhupada used to say, Srila Prabhupada used to say, I'm writing all these books not to sell them and make temples. It is to change our consciousness so that we can start chanting the holy name. We get motivated by reading those books to chant. That is the main goal of Srila Prabhupada. Why he has written so many books, so that we can understand the reason, the real reason of why we should chant. That was the main reason, right? So what will happen? We have to read Srimad Bhagavatam, listen to lectures, right? And then what will happen? We can purify, we can elevate ourselves. And what will happen because of that? We'll purify, we will improve in our life. And because of that, what will happen? We'll have peace, and that will lead to happiness also. So because of this sadhana, we will become a sadhaka, right? Sadhaka means we will be suitable for candidate for liberation. So who is our Shiksha Guru? Who is the Shiksha Guru for everybody? Srila Prabhupada is Shiksha Guru for everybody. He has written wonderful books. So we can read and become wonderful sadhaka by doing wonderful sadhana. So thank you, dear devotees. So next sloka also is related to this one only. Thank you, dear devotees. Any questions or comments we will take now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Dandat pranam. Can I just add something?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah. And there were two scientists who went to the kingdom of the Lord and they met the Lord, sir. And
Okay.
the Lord said, why shouldn't I send you to hell? He said, no, why? Like, I can do this, I can do that, I can, like, they're scientists and they were renowned scientists. So the Lord said, okay. He said, okay, I can make this, I can make that. So the Lord said, okay, you do it, and if you can, then I will not punish you. So the scientist started getting ingredients, and the Lord said, wait, you said you can make it. First, get your own ingredients. These ingredients are mine. So everything basic, all the ingredients are God made. It's not human made. He's the one who makes it. So we have to keep this in mind, that we cannot even create a single atom. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Very, very well added.
So,
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything, Mataji, you wanted to add something? You wanted to add something?